All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about a huge shift in how we learn, how we teach, how we grab anyone's attention in this crazy, fast-paced world. You're about to see why going small is actually the most powerful way to make a truly big impact.
47 seconds. I want you to just let that number sink in for a moment. 47 seconds. According to some really groundbreaking research from Dr. Gloria Mark, that's it. That's the average amount of time any one of us can focus on a single screen before, poof, we're distracted. Just 47 seconds. Wild, right?
So that brings up a pretty massive question, doesn't it? I mean, if that's all the time you've got, how on earth are you supposed to teach anything valuable? How do you train someone? How do you get any meaningful idea across? It honestly feels kind of impossible. But this is the central challenge we're all facing right now.
Okay, so before we can even get to the solution, we've got to wrap our heads around just how big this problem really is. And look, this isn't just you feeling a little distracted. We're talking about a full-blown, documented crisis in our ability to focus in this digital world.
And this timeline right here really tells the story. Dr. Mark's research has been going on for 2 decades, and it shows a drop that is, well, it's pretty shocking. Back in 2004, we could focus for a solid 2.5 minutes. Fast forward to 2012, and it's down to 75 seconds. And today, just 47. Our brains are literally being rewired for distraction.
And what's the consequence of all this? Well, it's pretty simple. The old ways of doing things just don't work anymore. I mean, think about it. You know those super long online courses? Yeah, it turns out most people never actually finish them. And what about those detailed PDF guides you download? Let's be honest, they're probably just sitting in your downloads folder, collecting digital dust. Traditional content was built for an attention span that, frankly, just doesn't exist anymore.
But here's the thought. What if, instead of constantly fighting against our shrinking attention spans, we just worked with them? Now that is the core idea behind a really powerful shift that's happening in both education and marketing. It's a modern solution for a very modern problem.
And that solution is called microlearning. Now, the really crucial thing to get here is that this isn't just about making things shorter for the sake of it. No. It's a whole strategic approach. It's all about taking a big, maybe even complicated topic and intentionally breaking it down into these small, super focused, and, this is the key, actionable chunks.
You know, the learning expert Dr. Carl Kapp, he just nails it with this quote. He says it's not about throwing random short bits of content out there. It's all about precision. Every single tiny piece is meticulously, deliberately crafted to help you achieve one specific thing. And that focus, that's what leads to better memory and, actual changes in what people do.
But look, grabbing someone's attention is only half the battle. You also have to make the knowledge actually stick. And that's where microlearning goes up against its second big enemy, something called the forgetting curve. A guy named Hermann Ebbinghaus figured this out a long time ago. Basically, our brains are wired to forget 80% of anything new we learn within just 30 days if it's not reinforced.
This is where microlearning pulls out its secret weapon. See, because all the content is in these little chunks, it's perfect for powerful techniques like spaced repetition. That's just a fancy way of saying you revisit an idea at just the right moment to lock it into your long-term memory. It's also perfect for just-in-time learning, giving you the exact answer you need right when you're looking for it.
Okay, so that's all the theory, which is great. But where's this stuff actually working out in the real world? Well, it turns out the applications are popping up everywhere, from giant warehouse floors all the way to university classrooms.
Let's look at Walmart, for example. They teamed up with a platform called Actionify to train, get this, 75,000 of their employees on really critical safety stuff. But instead of some long, boring seminar that everyone dreads, their workers just take these quick, fun, gamified quizzes every day. It's fast, it's engaging, they get feedback right away, and it keeps that super important safety knowledge fresh in their minds.
And it's not just corporations. Universities are getting in on this too. The University of Toronto, for instance, offers something they call micro-credentials. Think of them as these short, super-focused programs that are designed with employers to fill really specific skill gaps that exist in the job market right now. For the student, they're flexible and self-paced. For the hiring manager, they're verified proof that a person actually knows what they're doing.
This same thinking is totally shaking up marketing. You know the old way to get leads, right? Offer some PDF download. It's passive, it's a one-way street. Well, the new way is the microcourse. It's an active experience. You're actually giving someone a real win, which builds trust almost instantly.
And hey, anyone who actually finishes it, they're basically raising their hand and saying, I'm really interested in this.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually build one of these things? Well, it's definitely not just about hitting record on your phone. There's a real science to designing these for maximum impact.
So here's the blueprint. Step 1, you start with something called backward design. Basically, before you do anything else, you figure out the one single action you want someone to take when they're done. Step 2, deliver a quick win, like right away. You gotta hook them with some tangible value in the first few minutes. Third, you chunk everything down into those bite-sized lessons we talked about. We're talking 2 to 5 minutes max. And finally, and this is so important, you add things like quizzes and other interactive bits to turn them from a passive viewer into an active participant.
And don't sleep on that interactivity part. It's absolutely key. Research shows that a whopping 89% of learners feel more engaged when you add simple, game-like stuff like points or badges. It completely changes the dynamic from just passively consuming content to actively achieving something.
And honestly, the results kind of speak for themselves. When you break content down this way, into these focused little modules, you can improve long-term retention by up to 50%. So you're not just teaching more effectively, you're actually helping people remember it better, which is the whole point, right?
So, the big takeaway here is that this micro-content thing, it's not just some passing trend. This is a fundamental shift. It's about aligning how we teach with how our brains actually work in the modern world. It is, quite simply, the future.
So let's just recap the why one more time. This whole approach works because 1. It reduces the mental effort, the cognitive load for the learner. 2. It directly attacks that forgetting curve we talked about, so people remember more. 3. It delivers knowledge just in time, right when it's needed. And 4. It boosts engagement and completion rates, which gives businesses a way better return on their investment.
And if you're not convinced, just look at the business case. We are talking about cutting development costs in half, while at the same time making the creation process 300% faster. I mean, the data is crystal clear. This method isn't just better and more effective for the person learning, it's also way, way more efficient for the person creating the content.
So I want to leave you with one final question to chew on. In a world that really only gives you about 47 seconds of focus at a time, what's the one big idea? The one aha moment, the one quick win that you could break down and teach in just 15 minutes? Because your answer to that question, well, it might just be the future of your business.